In this video, guys, I'm breaking down 5 of the physical traits of autism that differ between boys and girls on the spectrum. Let's get into it right now. Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Ask Me World. My name is Dan. I have autism and ADHD. And if you don't want to miss out on any more videos that I do and learn more, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and give me a follow. Guys, what's going on? This is an interesting video. I want to cover 5 things that I think are mainly different in physical traits of autism, because a lot of people talk about autism and forget that autistic individuals have physical traits and physical kind of like appearances of signs, right? So let's break them down. Oh guys, before we get anywhere, if you haven't downloaded my autism PDF book for free, you can do it at autismhacks.net right now. It's completely free. Okay, so the first one is boys are more visibly distressed in situations of discomfort and triggering than girls. This is really interesting. Now, girls on the spectrum try to mask as much as possible. So if you're in a situation where you're close to a meltdown, the boys on the autism spectrum in that specific situation will have a greater physical kind of appearance of being visibly distressed and will probably be more kind of tendency to be lashing out and what would potentially be more angry. Where girls, on the other hand, if they're in a distressing situation, they will more likely shut down, and the masking will just be like they are more quiet, reserved, and more conservative in that situation, where they're having like more of an internal panic. This is very interesting because these signs actually show you that the person is having some type of distress, but those distresses actually differ from person to person, depending on if you're a boy or a girl on the autism spectrum. Okay, so the second one is masking. Now, this is really interesting. Masking is where you are putting on front or putting on an act to get over a situation or overcome a situation, could be social or otherwise. Now, boys on the autism spectrum are really not as tendent to be able to mask in certain situations, whereas girls typically would be masking. Where a boy on the autism spectrum will go to school and have an issue with kind of, you know, learning curriculum and learning how to make friends, and just you visibly understand and you can see that this kid is just like not getting it and not having a good time and is stressed and really kind of visibly not understanding the social situations, right? Whereas a girl, on the other hand, going to school, she'd try her best to kind of fit in and try and mask, and she'd kind of camouflage herself within that situation and go along with it. Even though she doesn't know what actually is happening and doesn't really understand those social cues, she'll go along with it to make sure she looks like she fits in, because girls strive for the fitting in of survival, and that's how the brain of an autistic female is typically wired. Now, this doesn't go for every single girl or boy on the spectrum. These are general analysis tips, so guys, please take everything what I'm saying with just a general broad overview, okay? And I know some of you can say like this and this doesn't work, but hey, I know some of you are agreeing with me right now, so give this video a thumbs up if you agree with what I'm saying and you've seen this in the boys versus girls scenario. Okay, so the third one to talk about is hair. Now, autism comes with sensory stimulatory behavioral issues, and one of the main things, one of the biggest things is hair. Now, boys on the autism spectrum are very terrified of going to the barbers and using the clippers because they make a buzzing noise, and all those noises are very distressing for boys on the autism spectrum. They would be for girls also, but I feel like girls are typically tending to grow their hair, whereas boys typically cut their hair. Now, there are ways to overcome this, and the interesting difference is that girls would have long hair and sensory issues, but they learn to kind of mask the sensory issues, whereas boys, on the other hand, will have long hair because they can't go to the barbers because of sensory issues, but also will have sensory issues because their hair is long. It's a very interesting one. Now, there is a solution. Now, this is a product that somebody sent to me. I love this. This is called Calming Clipper, and it is basically scissors with a clipping attachment, which means that you can cut your hair at home. You can cut long hair on boys without actually having to use clippers with the, you know, the vibrational clippers, and this is absolutely fantastic. Now, I will leave a link for this in the description down below. This video is not sponsored by them, although I was gifted this specific item. I think it's probably one of the most amazing pieces of equipment I've seen in a long time for cutting hair for autistic individuals. I'll leave a link down below so you can find it on Amazon, and there's also a 10% off discount code that they gave me when I did an Instagram video for them. Okay guys, so moving on, number 4 is the difference between stimming in girls and stimming in boys. Now, stimming is self-stimulatory behavior where you might, like, you know, flick your fingers or rock back and forwards. Now, girls will have more subtle stims, meaning that they will kind of like maybe rub their fingers together or twiddle their hair or rock side to side, whereas boys, on the other hand, will typically be more visually stimming, whether it be flapping their hands or like rocking very rapidly side to side, or running, or like moving their head side to side. This is all the difference in the masking and camouflaging of an autism in girls versus autism in boys. And this is something very interesting to know, because girls on the autism spectrum are usually left off the diagnostic criteria and just don't get a diagnosis when they need one because of these specific reasons, which is really annoying, but hey, it actually happens. Okay, so number 5 is really interesting. Girls on the autism spectrum will have a tendency to be more organized than the boys. Now, the girls will want to organize all of their crayons in a certain order. They'll want to organize the books in their room. They'll want to organize all their toys. Whereas the boys, on the other hand, will just get home and like everything's just a mess, and they'll just like live in squalor, because the boys are not as organized as the females in that typical sense. And autism kind of comes out in those things where boys will struggle with organization, where the girls will strive for that organization and actually thrive from having things organized. I mean, we all like things organized in an orderly fashion, but the boys obviously need help with that, whereas the girls will have more initiative to want to go and do that. Very interesting. Drop a comment down below if you have anything to add. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.